Hello, I'm Marcia Ogden. Welcome to my podcast, Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus. It's for anyone who's passed that milestone, like me, by a long chalk, and who, like me, has realised that we could be on this earth for another 30 or 40 years. So let's make the best of it. Welcome to the very first episode of Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus. Each week, with the help of guests, I'll hopefully be able to entertain, inspire and educate you, because although 60 is the traditional retirement age and we're fast approaching it, we don't look like old people or behave like them. And if we're working on the principle that we're going to be here into our 80s and 90s, then this is not the time to be slowing down or stopping. What I'd like to do each week is to have an invited guest along to advise us how we might look at and change the bigger things in life, whether it's mindset related or health, money, career, appearance, etc. But I'd like your help too, because as well as that, I'd like you to contribute to any little life hacks or tips you've gathered along your journey. Might be an old wives' tale that works, advice that an old boss gave you years ago, or just something that everyone in your family knows. You can record your contributions as a voice message at www.anchor.fm/DDL50/messages. Ugh, that's hard to say. Your message can be anything that makes our lives easier, happier, or more productive. As an example, here's one that I recorded this afternoon. I'm just out walking and I thought I would record this handy hint whilst I thought about it. I've known it from being a little girl, but I'm surprised at how many people say they've never heard of this. If you get stung by nettles, look for a dock leaf, the big, fat green leaves. Now, they're often found growing near nettles, as if by magic nature has supplied a remedy for when it bites you with the nettles. Try it. If you get nettled, rub the dock leaf onto the sting and it will miraculously go. There you have it. Sorry for the wind noise. As I said, I'm out walking at the minute. Now, I don't know where you are on the scale of over 50, but I was in the first school year who didn't have to sit the 11 plus, and so was the first comprehensive school year, where girls and boys were in the same class. Oh my goodness. I remember being confused. It's bad enough going from primary to high school, but then to have the different buildings referred to as the girls' block or the boys' block was really confusing. On my first day in assembly in the big hall, I remember a small lady dressed in light blue welcoming everyone from the stage. Being a bit overwhelmed, I thought, oh, that's nice, getting the cleaner to welcome us. She was the headmistress. What I thought was a light blue overall was, in fact, a very nice two-piece crimpline suit. Oh dear, that was a good start. But not just school, everything was changing at that time. It was becoming acceptable to live in sin, to divorce, remarry, have a same-sex relationship. At work, we started with manual typewriters. Oh my God, can you remember those? You had to have muscles in your knuckles to work those keys. A, S, D, F, semi-L, K, J. A, S, D, F, semi-L, K, J. Sorry, but if you know, you know. And do you remember takeaways? No, neither do I. My grandchildren find it hilarious that the only takeaway I had was the chippy. What, no Mackie D's? No, chippy tea, that was all. Except if you stumbled out of Tiffany's, the local nightclub, at 1 o'clock, there was a Sweaty Betty's, like, hot dog and burger van. The equivalent of a kebab shop, I suppose. My mum would have had a fit if she'd known I'd been eating in the street. On the music in the 70s. Now, there's never been anything quite like that, has there? Glam rock, the Commodores, Earth, Wind and Fire, Status Quo, David Cassidy, Donny Osmond and the Bay City Rollers. Anyway, we've made it through. We're still here. And whether we've embraced the changes or not so far, now is our chance to take advantage of the opportunities that are around these days, instead of sitting about saying, oh, it wasn't like that in my day. I didn't have opportunities like that. Now, call it a late midlife crisis if you like, but now is our chance to change the way we think and do things differently, because we can. We're at the age where we can think about ourselves again. It's hard taking risks of being a bit self-centred when you've got a young family and all the heavy responsibility that goes with it. But we've done that bit. This is the opportunity of our lives. Of course, the one big change that I haven't mentioned so far, and it's deliberate, and that's the internet and smartphones. Because love them or hate them, they've changed our lives. I'd come to a bit of a standstill a few years ago. My children were grown up and gone, and yeah, I still saw them a lot, and my grandchildren, and we're all very close, but I wasn't needed anymore. And despite having a great career in my 20s and 30s, I was now just jobbing around. Admittedly, I was doing jobs that I loved. I was choosing to do them, acting, promotional work, etc., but I had no end goal or purpose in mind. It's only through surfing the internet. Actually, do we still say surfing the internet, or is it just on the internet? Anyway, it was only through being on the internet and social media that I realised that the world has opened up and anything's possible. By becoming aware of what people were up to on the outside of my usual circle of friends, family and acquaintances, I could see that these days I could do or become anything I wanted. Well, yes, of course, you have to take some of what you see on the internet with a pinch of salt, but really, the world is everyone's oyster these days. This is the main difference. You see, when we were at school, I don't remember anyone taking my talents or interests into account when they asked me what I wanted to do when I left school. We were encouraged to do what was expected of us, the norm, get a job, have a family, live happily ever after. When we entered the working world, we were expected to work 40 hours a week for 40 years and retire on 40% of whatever we couldn't afford to live on in the first place. Mindset and living your full potential weren't high on anyone's list. I don't think it was the teachers or our parents' fault. I just don't think it was a known way of thinking then. Were any of you encouraged to write your goals down and plan how to reach them? Maybe some of you did, but I don't know anyone. Our careers advice was based on what others thought we were capable of. We're all in search of happiness. But what is happiness? It's something different for each of us. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you're never going to find it. Here's a little life hack. I've been using computers for years now, and I only found this out last year. If you type something or do something and then delete it, with most programs you can get it back by pressing Ctrl-Z. Even in programs that don't have an undo button, like Facebook, when you've typed a comment and maybe got rid of more of what you typed than you intended to. Give it a whirl. I use it so many times a day now, and like I say, I've only just found out about it really. So there you have it. A short first episode. Excuse it. It's not been perfect, I know that. But please join us again next week, same time, same place, for some nostalgia, we'll look back very fondly on our youth, but we're not going to live there. We're going to move on. And by next week, I will have some guests lined up who will help to take us from where we are now to where we'd like to be. So have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Oh, P.S. Can you do a P.S. on here? Well, I've done it anyway. Don't forget to send in any hints and tips, life hacks that you want to share with us. Just record your voice message at www.anchor.fm/DDL50/messages. I still can't say it. See you soon.